Most people think a car's life ends in a junkyard. But in reality, that is where one of the biggest recycling operations on Earth begins, because even when a car can no longer drive, thousands of dollars worth of materials are still hiding inside it. Steel, copper, aluminum, electronics, catalytic converters packed with precious metals. And even the seats, windows, and tires still have value. And every year, millions of dead cars quietly enter a massive industrial system designed to tear them apart piece by piece and turn them back into the modern world. What happens next is far more organized, profitable, and surprisingly high-tech than most people ever imagine. A car usually dies in one of three ways. It gets totaled in an accident. It becomes too expensive to repair. Or it simply gets old enough that keeping it running no longer makes financial sense. In many countries, once repair costs climb higher than the vehicle's value, insurance companies write it off almost immediately. And that is how perfectly normal-looking cars suddenly disappear from roads forever. But here is the weird part. Even a completely destroyed vehicle can still be incredibly valuable. That is because modern cars are basically giant collections of reusable materials. An average vehicle contains hundreds of kilograms of steel, aluminum, plastics, wiring, glass, rubber, and electronic components. And when millions of cars reach the end of their lives every year, the amount of recoverable material becomes enormous. In fact, vehicle recycling is one of the largest recycling industries in the world, and the process starts long before the crusher. First, dead cars usually arrive at salvage auctions or dismantling yards. This is where the hidden economy begins. Insurance companies, towing firms, rental fleets, government agencies, and private owners all send vehicles into these giant networks. Some cars still run, some are burned, flooded, crashed, or stripped nearly empty. Rows and rows of vehicles sit packed together like giant outdoor warehouses. And every single one is inspected for value. Because sometimes the individual parts are worth more than the entire car ever was. A working transmission alone might sell for thousands of dollars. Certain headlights can cost more than a used motorcycle. Even small electronic modules are valuable because modern cars are filled with computers. And when manufacturers stop making replacement parts, salvage yards suddenly become essential suppliers. That sounds simple, until you see what happens next. Workers begin dismantling the vehicle piece by piece. First come the easy, high-value components: batteries, catalytic converters, wheels and tires, airbags, mirrors, engines, doors, entertainment systems, sensors. Depending on the car, hundreds of parts may still be perfectly usable. And today, this process is increasingly computerized. Large salvage companies now inventory parts using barcode systems, eye image recognition, and nationwide databases. Buyers can search online for a specific engine or door handle sitting in a dismantling yard hundreds of miles away. A wrecked car in Texas might end up repairing another vehicle in New York within days. And this is where the whole system changes. Because dead cars are no longer just scrap, they are supply chains. Especially after the pandemic, when shortages hit the auto industry hard, used parts became incredibly important. New components were delayed for months, prices skyrocketed. Suddenly, recycled parts were not just cheaper, they were sometimes the only option available. That made vehicle dismantling far more profitable than many people realize. But eventually, every reusable component gets removed, and what remains is the shell. This is the part most people imagine when they think about car recycling: the giant crushers, the stacked cubes of metal, the industrial shredders. But before any crushing happens, the car has to be made safe, and this next step is where things get surprisingly technical. Modern vehicles contain a huge number of dangerous materials: fuel, oil, brake fluid, coolant, transmission fluid, air conditioning refrigerants, explosive airbag charges, lithium batteries in electric vehicles. If these are handled incorrectly, they can leak toxins, start fires, or explode. So dismantling facilities carefully drain and separate fluids first. Special equipment captures gasoline and oils for recycling or disposal. Refrigerants are extracted to prevent environmental damage. Airbags are neutralized. Batteries are isolated. Electric vehicles make this process even more complicated, because EV battery packs can weigh over 1,000 pounds and still contain massive amounts of stored energy, even after the car itself is destroyed. A damaged lithium battery can suddenly ignite hours or even days later. Some fires are so intense that firefighters struggle to put them out at all, which means recycling centers now need specialized battery technicians, insulated tools, fire suppression systems, and temperature monitoring equipment. And this problem is growing fast because the world is entering the first major wave of aging electric vehicles. Millions of EV batteries will eventually need recycling. and inside them are valuable materials like lithium, nickel, cobalt, copper, and graphite. The challenge is that recovering those materials safely is difficult, expensive, and still evolving. Right now, companies around the world are racing to build the future of battery recycling before the coming flood fully arrives. But for traditional cars, once the hazardous materials are removed, the crushing finally begins. Entire vehicles are flattened into dense metal blocks for easier transport. Then they are shipped to giant shredding facilities. These machines are enormous. Some industrial car shredders can tear through entire vehicles in seconds using rotating steel hammers weighing hundreds of pounds. The noise is violent. Metal screams, glass explodes, plastic shatters, and within moments, an entire car becomes a chaotic stream of mixed fragments moving across conveyor belts. But the real magic happens afterward, because shredding is only the beginning. The system still has to separate everything. Magnets pull out steel. Eddy current systems separate aluminum. Air systems remove lighter materials like foam and fabric. Optical scanners identify certain plastics. Advanced facilities even use sensors and eye sorting systems to recover tiny amounts of valuable metals hidden in the debris. And this matters because modern cars contain far more than just steel. A single vehicle may include dozens of different alloys, plastics, composites, and electronic materials. Recovering them efficiently is a massive engineering challenge. But the rewards are huge. Recycled steel uses far less energy than producing new steel from raw iron ore. Or recycled aluminum saves even more energy. Copper wiring gets melted and reused. Glass can become new products. Even old tires are shredded into material for roads, playgrounds, industrial fuel, and construction projects. Most people never think about this part. Their old car may quietly come back as highways, buildings, appliances, bicycles, or even parts of entirely new vehicles. And globally, this industry operates at unbelievable scale. Millions upon millions of vehicles are recycled every year. Some countries recycle over 90% of a car's total weight. Entire international markets exist for used engines, transmissions, electronics, and scrap metal. In some places, stripped vehicle shells are shipped overseas to steel mills. Elsewhere, usable parts travel across continents to repair aging vehicles still on the road. A dead car in one country can literally help keep another country moving. There is another side to this system most people never see. Not every vehicle gets recycled cleanly. Illegal dumping, unsafe dismantling operations, fluid leaks, and poorly managed scrap sites still exist in many parts of the world, and modern vehicles are becoming harder to recycle. That would already be complicated enough, but it gets worse. Cars today are packed with glued materials, complex electronics, sensors, mixed plastics, cameras, and advanced composites that are difficult to separate efficiently. Automakers want vehicles to be lighter, safer, quieter, and more aerodynamic. But those same improvements often make recycling harder. Even something as simple as removing certain batteries or touchscreens can require major labor. And as electric vehicles become more common, recycling systems will face even bigger challenges, because future junkyards may look less like piles of metal and more like giant electronics recycling centers. In many ways, the modern car is turning into a rolling computer with wheels attached, which means the business of dismantling them is evolving too. Some companies are already using robots to disassemble batteries. Others are developing chemical processes to recover rare metals more efficiently. Researchers are trying to design vehicles specifically for easier recycling decades later, because eventually, nearly every material shortage becomes a recycling problem. And this is the hidden truth behind dead cars. They are not really dead at all. They are collections of valuable materials waiting to re-enter the economy. The steel may become skyscrapers. The aluminum may become airplanes. The copper may power new homes. The battery materials may return inside future electric cars. And somewhere inside a recycling yard, workers are already taking apart tomorrow's raw materials one vehicle at a time. So the next time you pass a junkyard filled with rusting cars, remember this. You are not looking at waste. You are looking at one of the largest urban mines on Earth. And most people never notice it. Subscribe to Curious Eagle for more stories about the hidden systems quietly running the modern world.